And then for me, I've gone through phases where I'm like, I'm a little tired of working on every single thing that flashes in my head nonstop. Okay, I got to do some work on that. I got to unravel that. I got to understand that. You might hit a wall for a little bit and chill out. And then hopefully you make it to where you're still working on things for sure. You never want to stop improving. But maybe it's not like at the forefront of your brain all the time. It's not consuming your life. And maybe you're somewhere in the middle, which I do feel is where I'm at personally. I'm like, yeah, I definitely notice things that need some work. It's not all consuming. There's stuff in the real world, like the physical world, that needs work too. And I'm definitely focused on that. But yeah, I could definitely do a little bit of work mentally here too. I think it's a yes and, not an either or. And I have a tendency to really get obsessive about whatever it is that I'm doing or working on or passionate about or reading or learning about at the time. And my definite one of my definite issues is being an extremist. I am like all in on everything for 2 to 6 weeks, and then I'm kind of like, okay, I got to move on to something else instead of slowly integrating something into my life. And I've gotten better about that, gotten a lot better about that, but I do see that as a personality trait that is awesome in some areas and maybe not so great in other areas. And that's the thing too, that it's so tricky to know where something that you do naturally, like being an extremist, is a strength, which I think in my desire to learn about things, I think that's a strength. Like binging a topic or a person or some form of information to the point that like I really do feel like I know quite a bit about it, and then moving on to something else. I think that's awesome. But being extremely obsessive about other things totally holds me back. Like totally can hold me back. And or not being able to stick with something, also a major hindrance. I've had to really focus on that with my career, with like diet and exercise, because I want to binge it and I go through phases of being pretty obsessed. It's in the non-obsessive, anticlimactic phases in between where I have no interest in the thing I do for a living or making sure that I'm still healthy, that I really have to watch myself. That could come across as being like a yo-yo dieter, or I don't do this so much anymore, but I've gone through phases where I'm like, I don't want to work out. I don't want to be in the gym. If the weather's nice, I've gone through phases where I'm like, I'm going to go for a walk outside and I don't want to do anything else. And so that's not good. I need to be doing things that are healthy and good for me in less of an up and down fashion and more in a consistent, careful way. I shouldn't say careful. It should just be a part of the routine. And again, I've worked on that quite a bit. Some of this is like a past issue that I've had, something that I've had my awareness on, like this overcorrecting, yo-yo, up and down, obsessive, this personality trait. This is something I've been knowing about for a while, like years on end, and have consciously had to work on this. Yeah, it's not always been so great. I am in a much better place. But again, that whole concept of like my strength in this area is my weakness in this area just adds another element of like mentally and emotionally trying to optimize would be the way I look at it. I know that makes me sound like I'm like a business minded person, and I'm not, but like you want to be able to optimize the way that you naturally are. And a lot of times the way that you naturally are is also sometimes your biggest setback or the thing that holds you back the most. It's almost like when you're dating somebody and at first you're obsessed with the way that they're so fun and they like to be the life of the party. And then after a couple months, you're like, you disgust me. Just sit down. You don't always have to be the center of attention. It's like the thing that attracts you to someone eventually becomes the thing that you're like, I'm dumping you. I don't like you. Could you be quiet ever? So not that specific thing has ever happened to me, but yeah, it's the same thing. It's in some areas, it's like totally attractive the way that you're doing things. And I'm not saying that in like a sexy way, but I'm saying like it's a good thing. It's going to help you exploit that strength because that's the thing that's going to take you to the top. And then in the next breath, it's like, okay, you got to tamp your own self down. We got to dilute this situation pretty quick because now it's running away with you, young woman. Again, that just takes greater awareness, which I know seems like a lot, but it's not. I don't know. If you're like me, like once you start paying attention to things, it just becomes how you do life. Like I think back to when I was just a mess, but a total mess. And then there are a lot of spiritual terms for certain things, like dark night of the soul, like that thing that kind of wakes you up, or you become aware. And once you're aware, you can't not be aware. You can't go back to sleep once you're awake. It's just, this is what I notice now. This is very important to me. And your brain just sees it without even having to force yourself, which is awesome.